This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Stephen Jarvis and Friends podcast featuring Mark Bensett Jr. That is Mark. And as always, I'm your host, Stephen Jarvis. Please, if you haven't yet, check out the podcast of the month, which is Barrel Aged Chicks. Even though every podcast this month is the podcast of the month, we just decided to go with them this time. Today we are talking about great video games with horrible movie adaptations. I wish I had like a friggin' what is that? Soundboard where you could hit the button and go the dun dun dun.
They make boards like that. They got a phone. They got a phone app that you can use for that.
Yeah. So Mark, would you like to start first?
Oh hell no, you're going first.
Okay. Great games with horrible movie adaptations. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I knew you were going to start off with that one.
It was either that or the original Super Mario Brothers.
Well, that was going to be that's actually one of my worst ones.
Or Double Dragon. Well, no, Double Dragons wasn't so bad.
Double Dragon was good for its time, but yeah. I mean, if you go back and watch it, oh god, it's so cheesy.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them were in the 80s and 90s.
Right. I mean, it was a great game. I loved it.
Yeah.
I never beat it, but I'd like to play it again.
Well, anytime you get it, just tell me and I'll get it and we can do it. I beat that game so many times on the old Sega Genesis, it wasn't even funny. Yeah, that's like Streets of Rage.
Right. Well, I used to play it. Well, shows you how old I am. I used to play it on the arcade games.
Yeah.
And I wish that those would make a comeback. Just having those as games alone. I mean, I got other ideas, but I can't give.
One movie or game that I think two actually that I think should get movie adaptations: Golden Axe and Streets of Rage. I think you could turn them into it.
Golden Axe. Oh my god, I played that. I spent a lot of money on that game.
Love them fucking games.
I spent a lot of money on that game and didn't barely get anywhere. But if you put it in front of me now, I'd jump at a chance to play it again.
Oh, definitely.
That's why I can't wait. Eventually I'll get one of those boards where I can plug it in the TV and be able to play it.
Well, you can actually now. I seen it at Sam's Club one time, and I wish I had the money. It was an arcade.
The smaller ones, yeah.
No, it was an actual nice sized arcade, and you could buy any arcade game you wanted. You just had to be subscribed to their store. And I've been trying to track it down because I was like, Alyssa, I need to get this when we get our house or wherever we end up next, because that would be beautiful. They
have this big thing for 4 people, and you can actually plug it into your TV, and you can play those games on there. And it's not that expensive, but it depends on what you consider expensive. I seen the other day, before we get off track again, I seen there was a Blitz football game, and it came with all 3 of them.
Well, yeah, that's what started it off. Originally it was an arcade game,
right? Well, no, I'm just saying that I was like, oh my god, I want this so bad, but at the time it was $500.
That's another one that would Blitz the League would make a great movie.
Well, didn't they make it? Isn't it called Any Given Sunday?
Yeah, but that ain't really much Blitz the League, though. That's more like the NFL League.
Okay.
But anyway, so like I said, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. The first Mortal Kombat movie was amazing.
Yes. Doom.
Oof.
It was early on in Rock's career, and he even admits that it wasn't one of his best movies.
Well, they didn't know how to make it either.
No, even if they did it now, I still think it would suck.
That's like the new Mortal Kombat movie they had just released not too long ago. It looks so much like fucking Highlander.
Well, I actually like that one. I like it better than Annihilation.
Yeah. Some of their animated ones are even better.
One of my
But
favorite ones is Sonic.
oh yeah, I don't know how people can say Sonic has been a horrible one. It's been really
Well,
good.
it's great. The first two were great. They just didn't like how Sonic looked in the beginning, so
Oh
they
yeah.
remade him, which was good because I actually did see what Sonic looked like, and that was a poor taste in Sonic.
And now with Sonic 3, we're gonna get Shadow.
Right.
So that
Hey,
should be interesting.
you forgot to say something.
What?
Spoiler alert.
Everyone's probably seen it by now.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
Some people have it.
go
Anyways,
fucking see it. It's a
hey,
good movie. But another one, the original Super Mario Brothers movie, not the new one coming up. The new one doesn't look that bad. It's animated and people
I
are
want to
just
see more
bitching.
on it. I want to see
Yeah,
how.
so do I.
I think that'll be a really good. But yeah, the Mario Brothers when they first run that out, boy, that was a shit show.
It was. Especially when they had the first show with Captain Lou.
Yeah, well, Captain, I used to watch that in the mornings before I
Yeah.
got on the bus, and that had all my, some good cartoons that I liked on it, and it was pretty decent. But I mean, they weren't no Bozo the Clown.
Wouldn't fly today.
Shit, I'm starting to tell my age more.
Yeah.
Um, but to make a movie out of a popular video game, the most popular video game at that time, they didn't have the right people in there.
Well, I think it would have been much different if they would have went the animated route. I'm sorry, but I cannot see the guy who played the fucking detective from Who Framed Roger
Rob,
Rabbit. Yeah.
I think that's
I
one of the
can't see
reasons
him.
why it didn't work out because
And then John Leguizamo as Luigi. I
yes,
just yeah.
Bowser looked all messed up in it.
Did they even have Bowser? I know they
Hold
had
on,
the
wait a minute.
Koopas in there.
Yeah, they had Bowser. Huh? He was human. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
no wonder why it didn't work.
Yeah. Let's make Bowser human. Yeah, that'll work really well.
I mean, you can go with that with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. The only one that I did not like out of the whole, even out of Michael Bay's, even is the third one.
The samurai one, yeah.
Yeah, the Samurai one. That one I did not like.
I liked the live and action ones, but I didn't like the Michael Bay ones, which
A
is
lot of
kind of
people
funny.
didn't. They said that it lacked more than just the funniness, but they said that it lacked that the turtles look like aliens.
Not only that, they looked like they were on steroids. Like
Right.
heavily.
I wish that they would just stick to the comics
Yeah.
when they come to doing stuff like this because their origin should never change. Never.
But then if they would have stuck with the comics, eventually once Shredder died, they would have had to turn either Leonardo
Raphael.
or Donatello bad,
Raphael.
and then they
Raphael was the bad one.
was it?
Yeah, and it just
Okay.
depends on which one you go about watching because they got different timelines for that too.
Yeah. But that'll be for another one. I need to get back into comics. Um Another one that was really bad. Oof. Need for Speed.
You got a problem with
I
okay.
like Jesse Pinkman, the guy who plays Jesse Pinkman's in it. I like that they did that, but at the same time, it didn't translate Need for Speed for me.
Okay, well, for me, Need for Speed it never had a story to me. I mean, to some degree, to me,
Yeah.
it was about racing across everywhere.
Well,
It was
in a
about
way, yeah. I mean, you could have kind of made the Need for Speed movie, kind of like how they made Vanishing Point.
Yeah.
God, what's another horrible one?
Oh, let's see here. Now, a lot of people like Pikachu.
Do not say Detective Pikachu is bad.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a lot of people liked it.
I love that
But
movie.
there's a lot of people that didn't, and there's one person I know for sure that did not, or two people that have not watched that movie.
Who?
Me and most of my family. Oh, you did? No.
Zachary watched it.
Oh, Zach did. Okay. Yeah. Most of my family.
It was good. I won't say it's like a great movie, but it was good. It was a Ryan Reynolds movie. So
it had to have been funny.
Yeah. I think after a while they need to figure out what they're going to do with Pokemon, because I know the lady who did the voice for Ash is retiring or leaving or retiring from it. And it's like, I remember watching the cartoon as a kid. So then you got to see Team Rocket, and I don't think Team Rocket's in it anymore.
I'm not sure. I don't really get into those.
God, could you imagine if they would have made like a video game and then they made that video game into like He-Man Masters of the Universe, which wasn't a bad movie.
Not yet. I was waiting on you.
Why were you waiting on me?
To say yes.
You never listen to me anyway.
I'm trying.
And God, what's another one?
Well, they did make movies off Resident Evil.
Resident Evil wasn't that bad.
Movie-wise, they could have done it better.
They could have done it better, yes, but at the same time, it's not as bad as what the Netflix show was.
Well, yeah.
When they changed a white character into a black character, which whatever they wanted to do, and then they try and say, well, the source material wasn't good enough. That's like with the, not to get on a rant, but that's like with them shitting on Lord of the Rings with the new show they just put out on Amazon.
New series. Well, I haven't watched it yet. I was waiting for it to end so I can watch it.
I ain't gonna watch that garbage.
I like it, so I mean, I like Lord of the Rings as it is.
I like Lord of the Rings as long as they, like we always say, stay with the source material. That's why it's there.
Assassin's Creed movie.
Ooh, yeah. Oof.
I mean, from what it says right here, this one doesn't give how much they made, but out of 100, only 30 out of 100, only 36 people liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. And there's gonna be people that are gonna probably comment on this and be like, "What are they smoking?" It's like, this is our opinions, people. We're not gonna like everything that everyone else likes.
I've never watched Hitman, but it's on the list too.
Hitman, the first one was pretty good. But yeah. This was a really bad topic. But no, I think what really happens with some of these movies is that someone looks at a video game and says, "Oh, I can make that into a movie." And
some of them could be, but
Uncharted was good.
I watched that again the other day. It was
that was a good one.
Yeah, I can't wait until the next one comes out.
I'm surprised Zendaya wasn't in it though.
They're trying to do different things for it. Instead of always doing the same movies together, they want to try to branch off and do other things. Because she's only in one, but he's been trying to get on her show or her show on HBO, Euphoria.
Well, yeah, because they're together,
right? They're supposed to be getting married soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Going down the top 10 worst video games. Number 10, Dungeons and Dragons.
Never knew they had a movie and never
Or,
played
sorry,
it.
not Dungeons Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons coming out next month or March. Sorry, Double Dragons. God, dumb me. Okay. Number
Yeah.
9, Super Mario Brothers. Of course, we already knew that one.
9? They have that at 9?
Just wait. The movie was also a financial failure with a production budget of 48 million. It only scored. That's not that bad. It only scored 38.
$48 million for that fucking piece of shit? Now, why didn't they make it animated? With that money, you could have made it really good.
Because back then, animated wasn't everything.
But then, granted, in the 90s, we were supposed to get Shrek, and it was supposed to be live action with Chris Farley, so...
It turned out better this way, but,
yeah.
For different reasons. Number 8, Wing Commander. I still trying to remember this game.
I don't remember it.
And their budget was 30 million.
Yeah.
They only made 11.6.
Well, it just goes to show you Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard can't sell goose shit to make it look good.
Right. This was a 99. So this was before Scooby-Doo.
Well, yeah, but it's science fiction, isn't it? Because in the 90s, that kind of went bye-bye.
Yeah.
Until Phantom Menace came out, and then it kind of almost revitalized it.
Number 7, In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Saga tale.
See, I've never heard of some of these. Yeah, I've
never heard of that one, but it's a copy paste of what they put with Lord of the Rings. It puts Jason Statham, Burt Reynolds, Ray Liotta, and Ron Perlman, and the production budget was 60 million. It didn't even make a dent. It only made 13.1.
Yeah.
Now, in this, they're putting all 6 of them in there, but I don't agree with all of them being in there. Just certain ones. Resident Evil.
I don't agree with it. I think the first one was good, but then and I'm talking about the movies. I love the games.
The games are great.
Yeah.
Now the very first movie budget was 33 million. It scored. It made 102.4 million.
That ain't bad.
Now the rest of them, altogether, 312 million, and they only made wait a minute. The grossing of they made money off of it.
Now that we're talking about that Resident Evil, I wanted to see what George A. Romero was going to do with it. Because he was originally supposed to make either a movie or a Resident Evil game. And I kind of wanted to see it.
Why don't you look it up and see? It might have something on the web by now about it.
Oh, they do.
The number, he's dead. Yeah, the number 5 is Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I was about to say, if they put the first one on there, they should be slapped.
It made 51 million, and it created a budget of 30 million. It made money, but not a whole lot.
Because I watched the documentary on it on YouTube about Annihilation. They were going to have Christopher Lambert, who played Raiden in the first one, come back. They're going to have Lyndon Ashby come back. But because the script was so fucking terrible, and of course you didn't have the director from the original one come back.
See, I don't like it when they replace actors with other actors. If you're not going to have them, then kill them off.
Well, you can't kill Raiden. I mean, they did in Annihilation, yeah.
You can
But then
kill him, but he's not going to.
he became the Elder God.
Right.
He was the Elder God. He gave up that to protect the humans, and then he fucking died because he turned into a human, and then he became an Elder God again.
Right.
And him and Shao Kahn were fucking brothers, but we ain't getting into that.
That's again they changing storylines.
Oh yeah.
So that's it. They need to stay with the materials and not have something else going on.
And had the original director stayed on there, those animalities that they did in that movie would have looked 10 times better. But I don't think they should have done that in Annihilation. I don't think the animal thing was fucking like with Nightwolf. You kind of had to because Nightwolf could change into anything, but at the same time, it's like I think when they could transform into animals in the game didn't come out until the third or fourth game, I think. So yeah, and then of course scenes were cut out, so it kind of didn't mesh well, and yeah. But we were supposed to get a third movie after it, and then after Annihilation bombing, and then of course Katana, the actress who played her, not wanting to come back. Robin Shu, who played Liu Kang, didn't want to come back.
It sounds like it was doomed altogether.
Well, yeah, because when your original director wants to come back and then they hear his ideas and then all of a sudden it's like, no, we don't want you anymore. It's kind of like, yeah, you're kind of fucking up your own movie. And then, of course, after that, what they wanted in the script, the new director couldn't figure it out. So it's like, yeah. And then they got pissed off with what they were seeing. So then they had everything cut. And it's like, fuck. That'd be the point, like when we had Tom on here, where you just got to kind of wash your hands of it and let it go.
Sometimes it's interesting to see what they take from it and just it blows up, but you could have made it work.
Oh, definitely.
It's like when they take out, deleted scenes, or when they take out scenes and you don't understand why they took it out when you see them. It's like,
well, not that this is a video game movie, but The Crow. And not to get much into it, but they were supposed to have the Skull Cowboy, who was kind of like a guardian angel of The Crow, be in the movie. And Michael Berryman was supposed to be the Skull Cowboy, but they cut it. And I guess Brandon Lee was pissed about it because he wanted to follow what the comics were at that time. Because it was going to be black and white. And then I think the only color part of it was when the crow flew around the thing. So, who knows? All right, hit me with another one before I start fucking banging my head
number
against
4, Street Fighter, The Legend of...
Oh, they did make... Wait, are they talking about the newer ones, or are they talking about the ones that had Jean-Claude Van Damme? Because that one was pretty bad.
This one is the original Street Fighter film of 1994 managed to capture that quite well, whereas the reboot, this is the 2009 version.
Oh, okay.
And
I mean, the original one wasn't so bad, but I mean, at the same time, you have Jean-Claude Van Damme, who's from Brussels, so he's what, French?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a French actor playing an American character.
And just remember, this was the very last, that was the very last movie in 94 of what the hell's his name?
Raul Julia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because after that, he passed away.
He had cancer. Even in that movie, I guess he was not. That's why Guile, or the main bad guy in that movie, no, Bison, Commander Bison, is so skinny in that movie because he was pretty much on death's doorstep. And we're not trying to make...
It wasn't his fault anyways. It was everything.
Well, that and Jean-Claude Van Damme getting the budget for cocaine, and then he had an affair with.
We're not here to discuss that.
Well, I'm just saying there was reasons why it was doomed to, but then also at the same time, with Predator 2, which I never knew about this. Sorry to get off topic, but with Predator 2, they were gonna have Arnold Schwarzenegger come back, but then when he didn't want to come back, then they were gonna also have Steven Seagal in the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, that would have made a good movie.
Yeah, that would make me not want to watch it even more.
Oh,
Um,
I can't stand him.
now, see, I wish we could reverse that as a video game that was made from a movie, you know, on that part for Predator. That one did not fly very well with people.
Fuck it, let's do it.
It had a lot of glitches from the get-go, and it was only on, what, PS, right?
PlayStation, I think it was on computer too.
Yeah, everything goes on a computer.
Well, yeah, because that's mostly where their fan base is going to be. Great movie, and we're gonna put, which I'll change the title to. So not only is it great games turned into horrible movies, but great movies turned into horrible games. I got a good one. The NES version of any fucking movie that came out at the time. Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th, E.T.,
Yeah, I was about to say E.T.
which is considered the worst game ever fucking made.
Did you say Nightmare on Elm Street?
No, Nightmare on Elm Street. God, there was so many ones. Dick Tracy, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, they also made that one for I thought they made that for the NES 64.
Home Alone.
Also, yeah.
There was a lot of them. Highlander, I think, had one too. But yeah, it's just which Highlander, when Xbox 360 came out, Highlander was supposed to have a game, but then it got canceled. And it was going to tell the tale of a different McLeod.
See, I'd like to put, Friday the 13th on that list of poor games, but hell, you can't, because we love that game.
I'm talking about the NES edition. I'm not talking about
No. I know which one you're talking about. That's why I said that.
Yeah. I loved that game. I loved what they did with the newer one.
It had
but
so
at the
much
same
promise.
time, they could have put more into it. But the lawsuit killed it, and we're not going to get into that one.
And hopefully we can get another one out of this.
There's been talks.
Well, we'll find out.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of another game, because how they end this one, and I'm like, wow, that's so messed up. And they end this one on the House of the Dead.
The movie was terrible, yes. The games were not.
Oh, yeah. First person shooter on Sega was not a gem among stones. Surprisingly, it made 13.8 at the box office, and it was budgeted for 12 million.
Well, I think that's another genre I think you can pimp out to the extreme, is the zombie genre.
You can only do that so far, though.
I mean,
you can put a zombie in almost every movie and make it something, but you need it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You need it to die down a little bit before, so people can.
Well, that's just like horror. I mean, eventually, hopefully, we'll get a not Friday the 13th movie. That's gonna happen eventually. We already know that. But I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, because I mean, if you skip Nightmare on Elm Street because let's be honest, that was a big franchise in the 80s, just like Friday the 13th, just like Halloween in the late 70s. I'm surprised Black Christmas never had a big franchise, but then with the remake and then the newest remake, they kind of ruined that. But I just there was a lot of great movies that were gonna have horrible video games. I mean, Dirty Harry for Xbox 360 was gonna be a great game. They had Clint Eastwood coming back to do the voice for it, and then got canceled for some reason. And it was gonna be after Dirty Harry took down Scorpio, so the bad guy from the first movie.
Now, for
Go ahead.
Nightmare on Elm Street, the only thing that I see that we're getting for right now is Dylan's new Nightmare.
Well, I'm talking about,
and
not to shit on fan films.
The interesting part is, I've watched the trailer for it and all that, and it actually looks really good.
Oh, a lot of them do.
But a lot of people will always keep on shitting on it when it's
Fan
not,
made. Yeah.
It's not the voice of Robert Englund, and it's not Robert Englund. Okay, you can do the paint up all you want. I mean, make it look like Freddy. The voice is what you got to work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was trying to see.
That's like I said. With now, we're hearing rumors of Nancy wanting to come back.
I was just reading that.
And she said, there's an easy, simple solution to get Robert to do this. Record his voice. Just have him record the voice. So then if he were to die before you got him into the makeup, you at least have the voice. I mean, look at what they're doing with Nick Castle. They're just having him come back with the breathing.
Right. And it worked out great.
Yeah, it could work out. It's just you don't have anyone in Hollywood that can sit there and think of this shit. But another great one, well, calling it great probably isn't the greatest thing to call it. The Crow City of Angels, and the video game that they had from that was pretty bad.
Wow. According to this article from June this year, that Blumhouse is trying to convince Robert Englund to come out and play him one last time.
Yeah, that's been fuck. I even knew about that.
Yeah, well, I've been listening to it, but that was the first time I seen where it said Blumhouse was interested in.
Just don't do a fucking trilogy.
Oh, I mean,
Halloween, they should have learned from that. Even when they had the original trilogy of 4, 5, and 6, it didn't work out after the fourth one.
Or if you're going to do a trilogy, make it right. Make it what the people want.
Or say fuck the people and just make it the way you want to. I mean, if we really went off by some of these fans' projection, we would have never had Michael back. We probably would have had Corey in all 3 movies as Michael. And fucking, it would have been a shit show.
See, that's a different topic for a different day.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. But that is actually a good topic for another one on, changing things up.
I don't think they should. But
I agree, but you can put somebody. I can name an actor or an actress to put in that role, and we can and you can do the same thing, and we can debate it on if it would work or not.
Well, that's like I don't know if you've seen this, but and this is just pretty much the end of the stream, so just bear with us, people. In one of the deleted scenes for Halloween Ends, it actually shows Laurie becoming the shape.
That's what you told me. You told me it was in the book too.
Yeah. Well, in the book, it's not because in the movie, the deleted scene, it shows her choking Allison. And then Allison, she lets go of Allison and tells Allison to get out of there, and Allison does. But then when they go back to Lori, she has the mask.
I want to. Is that on the? Have you got the DVD yet?
I'm not. No.
So I'm sort of curious on if it's on there or not.
There
I
was
like
supposed
that.
to be a
I wish
lot
we
of
could.
things.
There's only been a handful of times that I've seen where you can play the deleted scenes along with the movie.
Well,
But
this last one, Halloween Ends, they did not have from what I heard, they didn't have a lot of deleted scenes, which I think was stupid because it's just like some of the shit that they took
they
out of
needed it.
the book and then put into the movie. Well, yeah. I mean, and I think we've already had this discussion on one of our things, but in reality, the book is so much better.
Right. Well, the books normally are better than the movies as it is.
Yeah, I love the novelizations.
I still have to get it, but it's on my list.
They they fill in the blanks a lot. Well, Alyssa, she's like, well, I'm going to read Halloween Ends. I'm like, well, have you read 2018 yet or Kills? And she's like, no. And I'm like, start with 2018 first.
Yeah, you always want to start with something that started the trilogy out.
The book of Halloween Kills, though, with the way they do the flashback scene, why couldn't they fucking do that? I mean, the flashback scene in Kills was really good, but the book amps it up a little bit more.
Right.
So
that's what you get with reading. It enhances your ability. But we got off topic, way off topic now.
No,
and how come we always end up talking about Halloween?
Yeah. Well, my podcast or our podcast, so and we were at the end of the episode anyway, so
yeah, you could cut half of this shit if you wanted to.
Unedited.
I know.
But yeah, I there's a lot of movies I want to see this month. Or not this month, but this year. I couldn't believe how many good movies are coming out this year.
And it's going to be interesting to see, but I won't be able to see them all in the theater. But it'll be worth watching. I'll be going to see Scream.
Yeah. Yep. That's my first one.
Some of the other ones, I'm not sure if I
want to see the Beast Wars one.
Yes, I want to see how they change that, because they said that they changed some of it to make it better than what the comics did or the cartoons. But we both know how that can work.
If they wouldn't have fucked with The Witcher, I could have seen a movie coming out of that. But
I could still see it. I could still see a movie, but not the way people want it.
It's not going to be. I'm done watching the Witcher series anyway, because now they pretty much told Henry Cavill we're not going with the source material, so he left that, and then he went back to DC. Well, then they didn't want him there, and now I guess he's doing something else.
He's going to probably end up in Marvel Universe.
I don't know who the hell they'd have him play, though.
I don't know, but he could play somebody worth a damn.
Unless they're going to have him be the new Iron Man.
No, I just... you know how I like to read the rumors.
Oh, yeah.
But the rumors said that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back.
Yeah, but with that, for how many... He might just come back for one movie.
Right. Well, I'd still like to see it on how they do it, but it would have to be in, I think, phase 5 that they did. Yeah. They'd have to do it because they're almost done with 4.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out this year too.
Right. That's Gunn's last movie with Marvel, and that's a group of people that helped. That really wanted him back as their director, or otherwise they weren't coming back.
James Gunn, yeah.
Yeah, that tells you how good he is.
Well, that's like the Christmas special for Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was good.
I guess they had Kevin Bacon in it.
Yes, It was good. It was funny. It was
Yeah.
weird, but you know, it was good.
Yeah. But you know what? As all good things come to an end, so shall we. Just like the Viking season. But we'll talk about that for another topic.
Yeah, you can do that one on your own. You
Oh,
don't want
I'm
to hear
going
mine.
to. But you know, check out Barrel Aged Chicks. They're part of the Deluxe Edition network. You can even go check out the rest of the podcasts on there. They're very great. We want to thank them, but also, if you haven't yet, please go on to YouTube and like, subscribe, comment, as it really does help us out. We appreciate it. And, you know, I'm going to keep it short. So thank you so very much. And hopefully you enjoy this. I'm going to probably put it up tomorrow. All right. See you later, Mark.
Later.